Hey guys, this is Mr. Grice for Algebra Unit 3.6 Notes, Day 2. Today we are continuing our discussion on application of linear equations. Our learning target today is to be able to write slope-intercept equations in order to solve real-world problems. So let's go ahead and get started and review some of the vocabulary that we discussed from the previous day. Now, the y-intercept, most of the time, we're going to be talking about our starting amount. Okay, whether that be money or bikes or something someone's making, it's going to be the starting amount. Now, slope, we need to be detectives, okay? We need to look for words like per, each, every. There are other words that could mean slope, but those are the ones that you're going to see today. Okay? Now, ordered pairs. Anytime that you see two numbers in the same sentence, okay, so two numbers in the same sentence, yeah, that's an ordered pair. Now, our unit for X, the one that you're going to be seeing a lot today, is going to be time. And then the units for Y, it's going to be money, okay? But just know that the units for Y also depends, oh, not so, depends on what X is, okay? So since this is day 2, we're going to do one example together. I'm going to let you kind of do example number 2 on your own, and we'll keep checking in. And then we'll do 3 together, or 4 together. Whatever. Oh, the numbers are all off. So we'll do 3 together and then 4 on your own. Okay? So let's go ahead and read. So Jim runs his own lawn care service. He charges his customer a flat rate of $25 to rake up leaves. He also charges them $5.95 per bag of leaves collected. So we've got $25 and then $5.95 in the word per. So the two things that we're talking about here, we're not talking about time, so X can't be time. But the things that change is we don't know how many bags, okay? So X is going to be the bags, okay? And we talked about how Y is normally your money. That's the flat rate, okay? So Y is going to be the cost. It's going to be the money. So write a slope-intercept equation to model the situation. Now, they told us the slope because it's got the word per next to it. So 595 is our slope. So that other number is our y-intercept. That's the 25. So we can go straight into y equals mx plus b because we know the slope, which is 595x, and then we know the y-intercept of 25. Okay, B. What does the y-intercept represent, the y-intercept of the equation represent in terms of this situation? We'll go back and read it. We highlighted it. He charges his customers a flat rate of, yeah, $25. That's the y-intercept was 25, so that's the flat rate of $25. All right, how much money will Jim make from raking leaves if he fills 5 bags? So, how much money? And then they say 5 bags. So remember, the cost, the money, that's our y, and then the bags was our x. So we know that x equals 5. So we're going to go back to that equation that we just made of the 595x plus 25. Okay, and we're going to go and solve it. So what's 595 times 5? Do you have your calculator out? I don't. That's why I'm turning mine on right now. Okay. So $5.95 times 5 gives us a total of $29.75. So y equals $29.75 plus 25. So I'm just going to add 25 to my last answer. And we get $54.75. And remember that we're talking about money, so that dollar sign goes out in front. All right, D. How many bags, that's our X, did Jim rake if he made a total of 7260? So they're telling us that y equals 7260, and we don't know our X. So when we use that original equation again, we have 7260 equals 5.95x plus 25. Okay, so we have to solve for x, which means we're following the rules of SADMET. To get the x by itself, the first thing we do is subtract the 25. And we have 7260, right? Yep. And we're subtracting 25. And we had 47.6, which is really $47.60. And then to get the x by itself, we divide by 595. So divide that answer by 595, and we get 8. So 8 equals x, which means 8 bags. Remember that we have to label our answer. All right, example number 2. So the price of a Giordano's world famous stuffed crust medium cheese pizza costs $18.50. The price of each additional topping is $2.25. So what's our x and what's our y? Just kind of going through and highlighting some things. So x is going to be our toppings because y is talking about the cost. Okay? So, like I said, we're going to do this. You're going to do most of this one yourself. So I want you to tell me, what is the slope-intercept equation? Yeah, they told you your slope, it's 225, and this is 1850. Start filling in the blanks. 225x plus 1850. Okay, what does the y-intercept represent? Go ahead and pause the video and try it out. Now, you didn't have to write it the exact way that I did, but it's talking about just the base cost of the pizza with just cheese, and that's $18.50. So C and D, I'm going to let you do both of those on your own, okay? So just make sure, it says what would the price with 3 toppings, and we said the toppings were the X, good. And then the other one was how many toppings? The cost of the pizza was $29.75, and there they're talking about the Y. Okay? So go ahead and pause the video and do C and D all on your own. Good luck. Okay, so for C, you get $25.25. And then for D, we get 5 toppings. Now, if you need extra help on that, please come see Ms. Carranza or myself. Okay, so let's flip it over. Example number, yeah, that should be example number 3. So, does Ashley's cell phone has a limited data plan? If she goes over her data limit, she has to pay an extra 20 cents. Yeah, you see that 20 cents per megabyte. Last month, she used 275 extra megabytes of data and had to pay a total of $120. So what I noticed right there is that's a sentence, and in that sentence there are 2 numbers. So that means that that is that's a point. So X, that's going to be our megabytes. And the Y, once again, we're talking about our cost. We're talking about money. Okay, now that point, I need to know what it is. So remember that it goes X, Y. We said X was our megabyte, so that's where 275 and then 120 comes in. What's our slope? Yeah, the slope was 0.20. Okay, so they gave me point and a slope, which means we have to use, that's right, we have to use point slope to figure this one out. So we already wrote down all the information that we need. I know that our slope is 0.20. And then remember X and Y. So we got 120 and 275. So when we're solving this, the first thing we have to do is to distribute. We get 0.20x minus, I don't know that on the top of my head, do you? Well, let's find out. We're doing 275 times 0.2, and we get 55. Now, is that y all by itself? No, we have to add 120 to both sides. And then we get our equation of y equals 0.20x plus, what's negative 55 plus 120? We get 65. Okay, so what does the y-intercept represent? Well, the y-intercept was, it was 65. So what that means is the 65 is the cost of Ashley's cell phone bill, because that's what we're talking about, without going over the data plan. And if you want to write that, it's $65. Okay. All right, C. How much would Ashley have to pay if she had gone over her data by 320 megabytes? So we said that the megabytes were the X, and how much, that's our Y. So all we would do is plug in 320 for X. So 0.20 times X plus 65. Well, what's 320 times 0.20? I don't know. So 0.20 times 320, we get 64. So y equals 64 plus 65. And when you add those up together, we're talking about total cost, and it ends up being $129. Okay, next one. If Ashley's bill was $100, how much data did she use? Okay, so the bill, $100, so that's our y. 100 equals 0.20x plus 65. So we have to solve. And remember, we're solving using SADMET. So I have to subtract 65 to both sides. And we get 45 equals 0.20x. And then the last thing to do would be divide by that 0.20. And we end up getting 175 equals x, which means 175, yeah, they're talking about data, so that's megabytes. Okay, you have to label your answers. Don't be lazy. All right, number 5, let's see if you can get this first part by yourself, okay? So remember that for this one, you need to know what your slope is, and I know that they tell you a point, okay? And then you're gonna need to plug into our point slope to solve A, okay? So I'm gonna check in when you have this part done, okay? Pause the video and good luck. Okay, so I know this was kind of tough because they're talking about money for X and Y. So X is the total amount that he spent and Y is the total money that he has. Okay, so remember that he's spending money. So if he's spending money, says it right there, is that positive or negative? Yeah, that's his slope. It's a negative $850. Okay, so there's my equation, y minus 3,450 equals negative 850, parentheses x minus 3. And when you distribute and solve for y, we get y equals negative 850x plus 6,000. So the y-intercept, what does the y-intercept represent? Well, what is it? Yeah, it's the, oops. It's that 6,000. What does that 6,000 mean? Well, what happened in the problem? You want a scratch-off ticket, right? So the $6,000, it represents the amount won from the scratch-off ticket. And that was $6,000. Okay. So same as last time, C and D, you guys are all on your own. I'm not even going to tell you what you're supposed to do for these, okay? If you have questions, look at 3, 2, and 1, because they're the same type. All right, pause the video, and good luck. Okay, so I just showed my work a little bit, but all the solving and stuff like that, you guys should be able to do that on your own by now. Okay, so the answer to C is $2,600. So after 4 weeks, Stephen has $2,600. And then D, how much will he, when will he have $50 left? And that's after 7 weeks. So he was blowing through that money. Now, if you have any questions or you need extra help, please come see Ms. Carranza or myself. We would love to help you out. Otherwise, this is Mr. Grice signing off. Don't forget to do your homework. 3.2 practice or 3.6 practice B. It looks right like this. But this is Mr. Grice signing off. Thanks for watching.